All right, what is going on, guys? Happy Monday. We've got two games today. Man, interesting game yesterday. Mets and the Dodgers, absolute beatdown, 9-0. Wow. All right, well, we'll talk about the recap. So, I gave out four straight bets yesterday, or best bets, we'll call them. We hit 3 of 4. We had Dodgers race to 3, easy money. Cash that in the second. Dodgers -1. That was pretty easy. Singa over 2.5 Ks. Man, he just came out awful. He had severe control issues. He went 1.1 innings and walked 4. So not good there. So we did not cash that. I didn't record a single K actually. And then we had Mookie Betts over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at -120. We ended up cashing that in the eighth. I got a little sweaty. He scored in the first, I believe. Yeah, first inning he got a run. And then he had bases loaded, 1 out in the eighth, feeling pretty good there. And then he ripped a double for a 3 ribby a little hit there. So we ended up easily going over that. I also gave 3 leans, and we hit 2 of the 3. We did not hit the Nerfy. We had the over 8 runs, and Dodgers team total over 4.5 at +100. So combine those, we went 5 for 7. Not bad at all. That is pretty dang good. If you haven't yet, guys, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Just takes 1 second. Throw a little thumbs up down below and a comment to help the algorithm. And if you guys aren't watching the football videos, what the hell are you doing? We're absolutely tearing it up. I gave 6 best game bets yesterday. We went 6 for 6. Absolutely crushed it on the NFL. So we got a Monday night football video coming out later today. Hopefully you guys turn those notifications on so you see that. Anyway, let's get into our games here today. We're going to start with the Mets and the Dodgers going off at 4:08 p.m. Eastern today. Beautiful weather in LA, 73 degrees and clear with a 5-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. Let's see. We've got Sean Manaea, and the Dodgers are going to staff this game. So I believe it's going to be Ryan Brazier, or however you say his name. But it's going to be a staff game for the Dodgers. Now, that said, this bullpen's been lights out. They are at 31 scoreless innings as a pitching staff. So, will that change today? I think so. I think the streak will end today. Mets are very good offensively. They did get shut out yesterday, but I think they come back strong today and score at least 1 run. I think we can bank on that. If we look at Manaea, he doesn't have a great track record versus the Dodgers. I mean, they have a lot of ABs against him. 153 ABs to be exact. They are 44 for 153 with 8 home runs off of Manaea, 16 extra base hits. So they're hitting 288 off of him. He does have 31 Ks though, if you're looking for some type of bright side there. Yeah, Mookie Betts, we look at some guys with some success. Mookie is 10 for 32 with 3 home runs off of Manaea. Will Smith is 9 for 18 off of Manaea. So not great there. There are 2 batters that don't have a great track record, and that is Enrique and Teoscar Hernandez. By the way, literally saw some guy giving out baseball bets, and he kept calling him Teoscar. That's an indicator, folks. That's an indicator you may not want to follow that person. But Teoscar Hernandez is 3 for 15. Enrique is 1 for 11. So 2 guys that have struggled against Manaea in the past. But we look at Brazier. I know I was just bitching about that and maybe screwing this guy's name up, but a lesser known player. We look at Brazier, 3 games he pitched against the Padres in the NLDS. Wasn't fantastic. He went 3 innings total, so it was just more 1 inning. He did spot start 1 game, but he gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, gave up a home run. So there's that. Padres also very good offensively. I know there's a lot of folks that love the Mets in here, but the Padres were a fantastic team all around. They were fantastic. We look at Manaea. He's pitched 2 games in these playoffs. He pitched at Milwaukee and he pitched at home against Philly. 12 innings in total, 9 hits, 3 earned runs, 10 Ks. So he hasn't really had a bad playoff run here. This is much better. He was averaging about 2.5 to 3 runs in his previous 5 starts coming to the end of the regular season. So he's actually pitching much better than he was during the course of the last 5 starts of the regular season. That said, the Dodgers have been on an absolute tear. They have scored 20 runs in their 4 home playoff games this year. They are averaging 5.5 runs a game in their 6 playoff games so far. If we look at Manaea, he only had 1 start, and it was at LA this year against this team. He only gave up 2 earned runs. If we kind of go back, you got to go back to 2022 to really find Manaea getting rocked. And he had pitched a few games against the Dodgers and gave up like 8 earned runs in each of those games. So stats are a little skewed, and they're a little old, right? We're talking several years ago. So you kind of have to read into that what you will, but they're going to have a level of comfort against Manaea for sure. The only thing that concerns me about Manaea is we've got the wind blowing out today. We've got really good conditions for home runs, and he is a fly ball pitcher. 63% of his outs come via the fly ball. So that scares me a little bit that the Dodgers could tee off on him, right? Is it Shohei? Is it Mookie? Is it Freeman? Is it Hernandez? I mean, there's just so many sticks that can go yard. You can pretty much go 1 through 9 in this Dodgers lineup. They're just solid all the way through. So really hard for me to back this Mets team after yesterday. That said, right, a system play we did throughout the season that was wildly successful. When a team gets beat down like that, you just go right back to them, right? It's statistically like 60% of the time they end up winning that game. I think this is one of those times where we don't do that. I think the Dodgers are just offensively too damn good. They've got the home field advantage. I think what we saw yesterday from the Mets was just traveling to the West Coast. They had that day off. They've had a hell of a run in terms of travel schedule and playing so many games. So I think I said that yesterday, right? It wouldn't be a letdown. So I do think they come back more offensively. I would lean towards the over 8.5 again, right? We saw the Dodgers carry that by themselves yesterday. But ultimately, I got to go Dodgers here, going back to the well at -1. All right, let's get into the next game. This should be an interesting game. We've got Guardians, we got Yankees. Alex Cobb going up against Carlos Rodon. Cobb pitched pretty good in his last start against the Tigers. He wasn't out there long. I think he went 2 innings, maybe. Given the situation, they just went away from him, but I actually thought he pitched really well. He had given up 2 earned runs, so maybe he went 3. 2 or 3 innings he went. Now, the issue with this game is just going to be the weather. It's going to be cold as shit. It's going to be somewhere between 50 to 55 degrees at game time, and it just drops throughout the night, right? There's going to be times at game time probably going to feel somewhere in the high 40s. There's going to be between a 14 and 18 mile an hour wind blowing almost straight out, but there are gusts expected up to 32 miles an hour. Now that does decrease as the game goes on, but gusts are still into the mid to low 20s towards the end of the game. So you're a pitcher, if you've played baseball and you are a pitcher, pitching in cold weather is terrible, right? It is very hard to pitch because you lose the feel for the seams. A lot of times what you'll see is your breaking pitches just aren't as sharp, right? So your spin rate goes down a little bit. So you end up hanging your breaking pitches, or you just kind of struggle to locate it. So I do expect some runs in this game. I think it's easier to hit in cold weather than it is to pitch because, like I said, the tips of your fingertips, like once you kind of lose that feeling and you're really trying to grip it and snap it, it just becomes really difficult. So I have a little bit of trepidation in going like super hard in this game, right? We got the wind blowing out. I do think there's a batting advantage. We have seen Cleveland struggle against left-handed pitching. It's just kind of been their MO for probably the last 6 weeks. Not like we're talking 4 or 5 games. We're talking over a month. So really hard for me to back them tonight. Just Alex Cobb's okay, right? But he's a righty. There is some experience there. Yankees are, 22 of 77 versus Cobb. Juan Soto has a good track record hitting off of him. He is 7 for 11 with 2 home runs. So I like his over hits, runs, and RBIs today. If we look at guys like, Josh Naylor doesn't have a great record versus Rodon. He's 2 for 10, but Giancarlo Stanton struggled against Alex Cobb. He's 2 for 14, but Stanton's really turned it on in the playoffs. I think for the Yankees, it's going to come down to their main three bats, right? Soto, Judge, and Stanton. Judge really hasn't done a ton. I think this will be a pivotal game just for him personally, right? I think he's probably feeling a little pressure. If you watch the games, they've been kind of talking about how he really just hasn't had that big moment, right? Yankees lore needs to have a great postseason, and he just hasn't. So this will be a telling day for him. I do like his over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, but I like Soto's more. So ended up going with him instead. Let's see. Like we already talked about Cobb. The only thing that scares me with Cobb is got 77 ABs against this lineup. He's given up 6 home runs. So that's a little scary. That's a pretty damn high ratio, and we're going to have a huge wind blowing out today. So really hard for me to back Cleveland in this spot. That said, we saw him come out in game 1 of the Tiger series and just hang 5 in the first inning, I think. So it could come out really hot, but I just don't think so. Rodon's been pitching really well as of late. He is better at home than he is away. So there's just too many factors working in Cleveland or in the Yankees' favor. So my favorite bet, Yankees to bat in the bottom of the ninth, no. So I don't think they're going to have to bat in the bottom of the ninth. That is at minus 125. Of course, if they are losing, they will bat in the bottom of the ninth, and we will lose that bet. So there is that. The only concerns, I guess, would be, Cleveland doesn't do too bad hitting Rodon's pitch split. So there's that. But we've got such a cold weather day. I just wouldn't advise going super heavy, really, into this game. It's the first game of a series. Let's just kind of feel it out and see how it goes. But we'll talk a little bit about pitching report. I don't have any of the Dodgers stuff and the Mets. So kind of really the Cleveland and New York game. The Rodon, I went back and forth on this Rodon prop. His K prop is 5.5. It's plus money. I kind of want to take it. I didn't put it on the bets. I was kind of lingering on this. I didn't go with it. Alex Cobb's K prop dropped down to 2.5, but it's pretty juiced at minus 160. So maybe use that. I just don't want to trust any pitching today. Like I said, with the cold weather, just don't know how they're going to respond. So I'm going to fade probably taking that prop. All right, park factors today. Like I said, both games we've got the wind blowing out. Could be a juicy day for runs. Like I said, in the Dodgers game, plus 7% home runs. So you could look at basically the entire Dodgers lineup, or you could look at guys like Lindor, Nemo, Alonso, guys like that if you are a home run prop guy. All right, let's talk a little bit about our best bets. Get into this. So we're just going to run back yesterday. First 2 bets are just running it back from yesterday. Dodgers raced to 3. We're actually getting better value today. It was minus 120, which to be expected. Today it's minus 115. Dodgers minus 1 is minus 101 today. We already talked about it. Yankees to bat in the bottom of the ninth, no, at minus 125. And then give me Sean Manaea under 1.5 base on balls at minus 130. I don't think he's going to walk a ton. Of course, we saw Senga just blow through this line after the first 3 hitters, but Manaea, much better control. I don't think he's going to have any nerves. This is going to be his 3rd postseason game. He's pitched at Dodger Stadium before. I just don't think he's going to walk 2 people. This will be, if he is struggling, Mets will probably pull him pretty early. I mean, they need to win this game. They can't go down 2-0. So that's what I've got in that. Parlays I like. Give me Dodgers and Yankees both to lead after the first 5. Obviously, if they are tied one of these or both, it just hooks. So I didn't do the minus 0.5 run, but you can if you want to make it really juicy. But pair those 2 together, plus 155, and then give me the Dodgers and the Yankees to win at plus 168. I do have a slip with, I went a little nuts after the first inning yesterday and kind of live bet Dodgers minus 2 and Yankees minus 1. So I do have that slip live. So hopefully that pans out. Yeah, prop leans I like. Rodon over 14.5 outs. Just need him to go 5. I think he will. It's at minus 150. It's pretty juiced. So if you don't want to take that, certainly understand that is very juiced. And then give me Soto over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. We already talked about how he has a great track record against Cobb, so I like him in this spot. And then give me the Nerfy as a lean. Like I said, it's going to be really cold weather. My only concern is that wind blowing out, right? Could be easy to hit a home run. I don't know. We already talked about maybe hanging some breaking pitches because you struggle with, getting the feel for the seams. So a little risky play, I suppose, at minus 125. But my thought was the pitchers are going to be, they should come out warmer than the players, right? And players going to be really cold. Maybe that first 1 or 2 innings, they're going to kind of struggle to kind of find their way, feel a little achy and creaky because of the cold weather. We do see the line at 7.5 with the wind blowing out, so it does kind of aid towards maybe a first inning Nerfy. So those are my plays today. Like I said, we'll have the Monday Night Football video coming out. We did pretty good in football yesterday. It was quite a good day. Went up lots and lots of units. So great day there. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below to help the algorithm, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.